Well, there are loads of websites, aren't there, which offer to calculate your carbon footprint. In other words, work out how much carbon dioxide you've emitted from driving and flying and heating up your home. And carbon offsetting is where you pay a bit of money to try to make up for all that damage you've done to the planet. So what can we do to repair that damage? Well, in the 90s, we'd have been advised to plant a forest. But in the noughties, we're offered all kinds of ways to offset our emissions. Brad Pitt's a fan, and so are loads of rock stars, like Jack Johnson.
One of the projects we've been working with extensively is in Kenya. What we're doing is providing energy-efficient cooking stoves. Typically, families in Kenya will cook on open fires, which is a very inefficient means of cooking. And what we do is provide them, using funds from our clients, with energy-efficient stoves built from brick, and they typically use about 70% less fuel than the open fire method of cooking. So you've got the carbon saving from burning less timber. Because they burn at a higher temperature, there's less smoke, so there's a health benefit to the users. And also, because they're using less fuel, typically they spend quite a lot less money or less time gathering or buying firewood.
But offsetting is controversial. Although Mike Rigby insists his company is a beacon of best practice, some others have been accused of making misleading and exaggerated claims, and critics say it's just an excuse to carry on polluting.
In the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church developed a market-based approach to the business of sinning. That is, there were some monks who had a surplus amount of good deeds, and the church decided that those monks could sell those good deeds onto your average sinner in the form of indulgences. And what we're saying is that carbon offsetting is very similar to this idea that you can somehow buy your way out of your climate responsibility by buying these carbon indulgences off carbon offset companies. And of course, the idea is ridiculous. There's no way you can buy your way out of your climate responsibility any more than you can buy your way into heaven.
Now, one of the offsetting companies says we can wipe our slate clean for just 150 quid. So is that the answer?
We see carbon offsetting as part of the journey towards a low-carbon future. And personally, I'd quite like to think that in 15 or 20 years' time, it won't be necessary. It's a transitional arrangement while some of the low-carbon technologies become more freely available to not just people in the West, but to people across the world.
Essentially, it's a marketing gimmick that's used to make people believe that you can wave a magic wand and make your carbon emissions disappear, when the reality is, once you're responsible for carbon emissions, they're out there in the atmosphere causing climate damage, and there's no way they can be neutralised or taken back.